Hello again. Welcome to my channel, FPS. I recently changed the title of my YouTube channel because I think I can only focus on one subject, and which is I love football and I love to make simulation prediction videos based on the latest Smoke Patch 2026. So without further ado, as all of you know, now is the African Cup of Nations, which is held in Morocco, the host nation, in 2025. So today I'm using the beansport.com app to make my prediction of who will actually win the African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. As all of you know, the last Afcon 2025, sorry, the last Afcon was actually let me check. Sorry about my last minute research here. Afcon 2025. Sorry, Afcon 2025. African Cup of Nations. As you can actually see, Group A, we have altogether. I think we have five, six. Group F, altogether we have six groups. Group A comprises of Comoros, Mali, Morocco, Zambia. Group B, Angola, Egypt, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. And in Group C, we have Nigeria, Tanzania, and Uganda. In Group D, we have Benin, we have Botswana, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and we have Senegal. And in Group E, we have Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. In Group F, we have Cameroon, which is one of the most renowned African nations. Cameroon is, I think, the most famous. If you're asking me about the footballing, the African representative at the world stage, and of course Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, or known as the Ivory Coast, and last but not least, Mozambique. Let's see if we have. I think that's about it. So the last African Cup of Nations was held in Ivory Coast back in 2024. 13 January to 11 February. Champions, so the defending champions is Ivory Coast. Runners-up Nigeria. Third place was won by South Africa, which actually beat Democratic Republic of Congo in the last African Cup of Nations. And the African Cup of Nations before that, I think, was held in Cameroon, which was won by Senegal. Runners-up Egypt, and third place Cameroon, fourth place Burkina Faso. So yeah, I think that's a bit of the update. I think I have not, I'm not an expert in the African footballing nations in terms of how they are doing currently, how their top performance. I'm not really, I'm not an expert in terms of predicting accurately who will become the champions or what is their current performance. But as you can actually see, I think the most successful team in the African Cup of Nations, or known as Afcon, it's Egypt, 7 titles. Ivory Coast is the current champions. In terms of the formatting, I think it is it the same? I'm not really sure about that. I would say it's almost similarly to the last one. If I'm not mistaken. So please, if I did any mistakes, you can always comment in the comments below. As I say, I'm not an expert in terms of the footballing world of Africa, but Africa, I think, has been really an important representative in terms of a lot of star players from my generation, 90s generation. I think we have DJ Drogba, I think one of the most renowned African players in my time. Who else? I remember back in 2002, El Hadji Diouf. Recently, of course, Egypt, we have Mohamed Salah, one of the star players. I think Algeria, I think in recent years Morocco has done perfectly well in the last World Cup, all the way to the third place finish. I'm not mistaken. Is it third place or the fourth place? Yeah, I'm not mistaken, but that was in the last World Cup. So for all of you, in the next Afcon 2027, there will be actually a triple host nation, which will be hosting Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. So enough blabbering. Let's go on to the predictions. So my first prediction for Group A, as of today, let's actually see matches that have been played. Can actually see some of the games. African Cup of Nations. I think the first Afcon 2025. Let's make a quick search. Standings. Morocco has won their first game, 2-0 victory against Comoros. South Africa and Egypt also respectively won their games against Zimbabwe and Angola. I think Mali drew with Zambia 1-1, South Africa winning 2-1 against Angola, Egypt winning 2-1 against Zimbabwe. So let's actually see the predictions. So for Group A, I'm going to actually predict Morocco to be the winner. I think in a group consists of Zambia, Mali, and Comoros. I think a little challenge will be given to the host nation. I think runners-up, if you look at the current performance, Mali and Zambia, I would actually give it to Mali to be the runners-up, and Zambia in third place. Group B, wow, this is a very, very, very interesting group. I would say this is the group of death in Afcon 2025. You have the likes of Angola, you have the likes of Egypt, you have the likes of South Africa, which, in the last result, Egypt beat Zimbabwe, South Africa beat Angola. But I would say Egypt to become the winner in Group B, followed by Angola, I think, will become the runners-up in this group. And South Africa, a very interesting take there. South Africa will be amongst the nation involved in the opening game in the World Cup. In just 6 months' time, they will be opening the World Cup in Mexico. So they will be against the host nation Mexico in the Azteca Stadium. Let's move on to Group C. Well, Tunisia, Tanzania, and Nigeria. As of this recording, today, 8:30, will be Congo and Benin, Senegal and Botswana. Tomorrow will be Nigeria and Tanzania, and Tunisia and Uganda game. Well, I think based on recent performance, I would say I will give it the winner to Nigeria and Tunisia to be runners-up. I think Uganda in third place. Next, Senegal, Benin, Botswana, Congo, and Senegal. I would give this one the winner to Senegal. I think based on the recent performance, Congo has done really well. Let's look at, let's say, Senegal to become champions, Congo runners-up, Benin in third place. Okay, let's move on to Group E. Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. I think Algeria has been up to par in the recent performance, especially qualifying for the World Cup. I think no doubt about it, winner. Burkina Faso, Sudan. This is a tough pick, but I'm going to go Sudan runners-up. Burkina Faso, quite a cliche prediction of a Group E. Last but not least, Group F, consisting Cameroon, Gabon, and Ivory Coast, Mozambique. Wow, Cameroon and Ivory Coast, defending champions. This will be, I think, the replay of the last year's final, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? Or was it Nigeria? Sorry, Nigeria. Okay, so it's not the repeat of the last Afcon final. Wow. What I would say, Cameroon defending champions. I would give it to Cameroon, to Ivory Coast to win it in the group stages, followed closely by Cameroon and Mozambique in third. So these are my final predictions for the group stages. Let's proceed to round of 16. Okay, round of 16, as the of course prediction that we did in the group stages. So the next projection for round of 16, Senegal versus South Africa. Mali versus Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Cameroon, Egypt versus Benin, Nigeria versus Zambia, Algeria versus Democratic Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire. I'm really butchering it. I'm just going to mention Ivory Coast and Sudan. Senegal, South Africa, a bit too much. I love for South Africa to go at least, at least to the quarterfinals. But it's a very, very tough game against Senegal. I would say Senegal is my choice. Mali, Tunisia. As much as I love, I just have no clue about. I'm just being honest. I've no clue about Mali, but Tunisia, I've heard about them. They're quite good, in my opinion. But in the recent performance, I'm gonna go for Tunisia. Morocco, Uganda. Wow, this is a very interesting game. Uganda, they could make an upset. Host nation, one of the favorites to win this Afcon 2025. But I'm gonna go for Morocco. This team has done solidly well in the last World Cup. Angola, Cameroon. Wow, I would say I will go for Cameroon. They look to be a very, very nice package. Egypt versus Benin. On paper, it looks to be a very, very easy prediction. Egypt and Benin. Mo Salah, of course. Sometimes, on paper it looks easy, but Benin could be quite a challenge. But I'm still going to go with Egypt to go all the way to the quarterfinals. Nigeria versus Zambia. This is, I would say, a battle, a match which could be very, very intense. But I'm going to go for Nigeria. Algeria versus Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo. Um, I would say this one is very, very tough. It's very, very tough. Congo, defending champions. Sorry, oh my God, not defending champions. The last year's fourth place finisher. Um, in recent years, they have been absolutely quite consistent. Um, wow, I mean, I'm going to take a while to actually sort this out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Wow, I'm going to go with Algeria to go through. Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast versus Sudan. I would say Ivory Coast to go to the next quarterfinals. As we go to the quarterfinals, we left with 8 teams: Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco, Cameroon, Egypt, Nigeria, and Algeria, with Ivory Coast. Senegal, Tunisia, I would go for Senegal. Um, you know, I would say Senegal has. I would just had a feeling that they will go to the next round. Morocco, Cameroon. Ooh, this is a very, very tough game. This is a very, very tough game, and this is a game that I would love to predict in my channel using the Smoke Patch Simulator to see which team go through. I mean, quarterfinals. But I'm gonna go. I would love to see the host nation Morocco to go all the way to the finals, but I'm gonna go with Cameroon. I'm gonna go to Morocco in this one. Egypt versus Nigeria. Wow. Um, Egypt, Mo Salah, Nigeria, they did pretty well in the last Afcon 2023. They were the runners-up, remember? Um, Egypt, I would say this time around, in terms of performance, I think they have done pretty well to go all the way. So I'm going to go with Egypt. Algeria versus Ivory Coast. For some reason, I'm feeling Ivory Coast would, in the end, beat Algeria. They are the defending champions, but I'm not sure about the champions curse in Afcon in Afcon competitions. But I'm going to go with Ivory Coast to go all the way to the semifinals this time. Semifinals, 4 teams who will become the star of Africa, the Pearl Diamond of Africa. Will it be Senegal? Will it be Morocco? Will it be Egypt? Or will it be Ivory Coast? Senegal versus Morocco. This is tensions are building up. Host nation, Morocco versus Senegal. I would love for Morocco to go all the way to the finals. But you know what? I think they can, and I think they will go all the way to the finals. I'm going to go for Morocco to beat Senegal in these semifinals. Egypt and Ivory Coast. Well, this is a very tough prediction. I think since quarterfinals is a very, very tough prediction, and I just can't choose. I just can't choose. But someone has to win, someone has to lose. That's the tradition of a competition. Go. I'm going to say that this time around, in the tradition of Afcon, if we look back in 2021, it has always been different teams in the top four. I think you look back in Senegal 2019, it was champions Algeria. It's rarely the same team performing well in the previous time. So I'm going to go for Egypt to go all the way to the final this time around. So it's going to be Mo Salah versus I'm not sure any the Moroccan players. That's how bad my knowledge about African football is. But I'm still doing this prediction just to entertain and to see how I do it in terms of prediction wise. Morocco and Egypt. Well, this comes to, is it going to be a dramatic fantasy tale, the fairy tale of African Cups of Nations, host nation Morocco? Let me check. When is the last time? Ivory Coast was the last winner for the Afcon. They were the host nation. Back in 2021, Cameroon in the third place, so not bad. Host nations do well in this competition. Host nation Egypt in 2020, in 2019, they didn't go anywhere near top four. In 2017, Gabon, host nation, also did not go very far. 2015, Equatorial Guinea, they went in fourth place. So I would say, in the tradition of Afcon, host nation does play a vital role in the competition, unlike the World Cup when host nations, generally the champions goes and all. But I'm going to say this time around, final Morocco versus Egypt. I'm going to say that Morocco will become champions, and they will become title the African Cup of Nations champions. And let's see in terms of the history and the results. How many times? I think Morocco, for the last time, they have won it. They haven't. The last time Morocco were champions was, they were never champions. I think, is it? Oh, they were never champions in the Afcon nation. Yes, going all the way, they were champions back in 1976. They won the round robin against Guinea. That time, host nation was Ethiopia. So Morocco have won it before, but that was back in 30, 40 years back. So after a long while, Morocco, in my prediction, will become champions. The third place will be against Senegal and Ivory Coast. I think I'll choose Ivory Coast to become the third runners-up. And this is my final prediction. Submit. All right. So thank you again, guys, for watching Prediction Simulator. If there's any more updates, I'm looking forward when the FIFA World Cup teams have completed, and I would actually love to do that prediction. A lot of unique teams, and with the new format, and with 3 nations, host nation this time around in the World Cup 2026. It's going to be a glorious event. Aside from the politics and all, I mean, let's just enjoy the World Cup in USA, in Mexico, and Canada. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. If I did many factual mistakes, please just tell me At least I can also learn with you guys as I progress in my channel. So thank you again for watching, and goodbye for now.